Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Lost Begotten channel. So it's been a kind of fucked up day.
It's been a kind of fucked up week, all things considered.
Right? And a friend of ours just passed away. We don't even know why yet.
My best friend's father got T-boned by a 18-wheeler last night and died in the hospital today.
Like our former roommate, like one of our best
Yeah.
friends, man.
Like, she's been by my side since our oldest was a baby. That's yeah. She is one of two of my ride or die chicks. Right there.
And Christy was just, like, picture the nicest person you know. Like the nicest person you met in high school. Just picture the only person you've known your whole life that just didn't piss anybody off.
Right.
Anybody, ever. That was Christy. Nice girl. We both knew her whole family. I mean, I went to high school with her and her brother and her little sister.
Yeah, her little sister.
I mostly knew her and her brother.
I was closer to her little sister because we graduated together.
And you know what it makes me really think about Christy? It wasn't Ashley's dad that really nice guy that you were talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, Mike. Mr. Mike.
I think they're too good for what's left of the world. Like, I think it's really getting that bad. To where, like, good people
in the last
are just being taken away.
In the last 4 months.
They shouldn't have to deal with this.
In the last month and a half, I've lost 4 people. My mentor on election night.
Yeah, for fucking Luca.
Another one of my classmates just a couple weeks ago.
That guy spent his whole life just, helping fucking kids in the local community and stuff. Like,
yeah, he actually, after he quit teaching civics and for enterprise, he was working with special ed kids at our high school. He became a special ed teacher.
And he was an alpha male. To the point of, like, him and I didn't get along when I was in high school. I just, like, alpha males are, like, naturally, rebutted of each other or whatever. But, like, after getting to know who he was from other people, like, man, it's a damn shame. I probably would have really gotten along great with this guy. And
he was a great
some
teacher.
People, it just seems like the destruction of America gave them fucking heart attacks, man. The destruction of America. That's what's happened here, okay? All these Republican people, you need to realize that you're going to hell in a hurry. You can't just be assholes as the like the foundation of your existence is being fucking mean to people. Complaining about sore losers now after being sore winners and sore contestants.
No. So we got election night. My other classmate that lost his battle with addiction was Thanksgiving. And now we got 2 right before Christmas. Fucking hate the holidays.
This world rejects good people. Like, the Republican agenda, what it does, it chews good people up and spits them out. Like, you know how they tell the difference between a Republican and a Democrat back in school? When you worked in groups. The Democrats want the group to be fair. The Republicans want the group to cheat.
It's either that or it's the my way or the highway mentality.
No, the Republicans will say the smartest person in the group should have to do all the work or something like that. I know, because I used to be that smartest person in the group, that some douchebag was always trying to get to do all the work. I'd kick his ass the fuck out of my group.
Come to think of it, everybody who I used to do group projects with in high school were all the ones that are still alive, all Hillary supporters. I don't think that I ever did a project with anybody, and not even on purpose either. Like, because, we didn't think about politics that much back in high school. I mean, to us, it really didn't matter. We didn't have civil rights technically at that point, so what the fuck did it matter to us? But looking back, everybody who I used to do...
That's why I felt so different from all of you. I was a political activist from the age of 11.
I had other issues going on in my life.
I was a skinhead, so I was the wrong kind of political activist. But, I considered myself an anarchist. I was that... And I didn't have... I probably didn't even have a pube that was past an inch long. Like... It just seems to me like the difference between Republicans and Democrats is the very most crucial thing to our democracy, which is personal accountability. And Republicans seems to think that they own this whole idea of personal accountability because the robotic revolution caused a bunch of people to lose their jobs? Because people can't find work? They don't know about personal accountability? Okay. When you got somebody like Jeff Sessions, Steve Bannon, all these different fucking people, okay, doing things that are complete dereliction of duty, completely just immoral things. Would Republicans ever hold their fellow Republicans responsible or accountable for such things? No. It would take a fucking miracle for us to actually get to impeach Donald Trump. No matter what he does. You understand that, right? And that is
precedent.
And this is unique to Republicans. You would never find Democrats refusing to hold each other accountable. If anything, the biggest weakness Democrats have is their willingness to criticize each other on a constant basis, almost habitually. We don't have party unity the way the Republicans do. The Republicans seem to be able to just get behind any level of bullshit.
For the sake of the party.
Like, the best bullshitter wins during the primary, and then everybody just rallies around that bullshit, no matter how little sense it makes.
Eventually.
And then, whenever they take office, it's just a campaign slogan. No matter what. Every single Republican.
Well, not every
whatever
single.
The fuck they do. No, every fucking, from Reagan to Bush 1, Bush 2.
No,
okay, all these fucking Republican presidents. Okay. We're talking about president right now.
I meant like McCain's not supporting Trump at the moment.
But McCain was a flip-flopping son of a bitch. And his flip-flopping helped destroy America too. Okay? His war with Obama, instead of agreeing on the strategy of the commander-in-chief and being supportive of it during a time of war, Mr. John McCain derelicted his own fucking duty. And you know why he wasn't accountable? Because he was a Republican too. Not an independent, he's a Republican. This whole idea of Republicans posing as independents just to fuck up polling shows exactly how innately dishonest this party is. And Democrats do not need to pander to the far left. They need to stand up for what they are, which is centrists. We believe in everybody's rights, okay? We're not out to destroy the white man, okay?
We want everybody to have the same rights. Everybody deserves to have the same rights.
You get acknowledged for what you've done, not the color of your skin. You get acknowledged for how you treat people, not the way you were, the family you were born into. It's meritocracy. That's what Democrats are supposed to believe in. A democracy based on accomplishment, based on education, based on knowledge, on wisdom, on compassion, on charitable works. That's what it means to be a Democrat. It means to believe in the democracy that our founders founded. Before 1788, when it basically became an aristocracy in denial. See, the founders had one thing in mind, and then people were like, oh, but wait, what if this happens? So then they had to write the Federalist Papers. Because without having the Federalist Papers, this idea that the electors needed to have a majority to approve the whoever had the most votes, it seemed like at first to protect unpopulated areas, but it was actually just a more simple way of doing an election. These people were supposed to actually represent a certain number of votes. Congress is supposed to have a certain number of people per seat. But that's not how it is. The electors in a state like mine, okay, a small Republican state, every elector represents about 60 to 80,000 people. In a state like California, New York, one elector is representing between 120 and 140,000 people. How is that right? That right there alone tells you exactly the discrepancy between what just happened and the actual intent of the founding fathers in assigning electors to precincts in order to present their votes to the Congress. The word electoral college does not exist in the Constitution. The word popular vote was fucking made up recently. The very idea of democracy itself means popular vote. The fact that the Constitution says we the people means we the fucking people, doesn't it? And there's a lot to be said about, oh, it was only white landowners at the time. No. It wasn't technically white landowners until about 9 years later. And in fact, you really have to define what white is. Anyways.
Right. We had this conversation last night.
Because the whole idea that it was white landowners is implied just by the idea of land ownership. But the fact of the matter is, there were Chinese and even African Islamic landowners who owned Native American and African slaves, and even some Irish, okay, they got to vote. You don't hear much about them because it's, not a very good story. It doesn't fit the agenda of divide and conquer. It's one of those things that it lends complexity and ambiguity, like realism to history. So you can't just say, this thing happened and I'm mad.
I was trying to see if they hadn't updated a list of Republicans that are against Trump. But there's like nothing from before the actual election.
Right, because they're all cowards. People talk about Hillary being a panderer. I don't see it. I've never seen her pander. I've seen her awkwardly try to say the right thing the way any human being in that position would do. But pander? She doesn't acquiesce to a position to appease a certain group of people while intending to go back on her word out of any type of selfish intention. Okay? A lack of understanding of leadership, a lack of understanding of international complexity leads one to think that Hillary Clinton is in some way a panderer. Because she has, according to the hacked, released personal emails that we've intruded upon, okay, she has, like all of us do, a public face and a private face. And I would hope to God that anyone in a presidential position or in any type of political position or even a business leader, even a manager at a fucking grocery store, which I have also been, has a public face and a private face.
I got one.
Otherwise, first of all, if you don't have a public face and a private face, you are incapable of strategy. If you are incapable of strategy, you are not fit to assume the role of commander-in-chief, are you? I mean, like, Donald Trump supporters should know this. Oh, we're just going to tell the enemy what we're doing before we go? Oh, if I would have invaded Mosul, I would have done it in secret. Oh, yeah. Because you know how you can move fucking 20,000 troops across a desert without anybody noticing.
Right.
Doesn't kick up any dust or anything. Fuck. I've never met an army that could walk that slow, and I've met a lot of armies. Okay? Tanks, Humvees, Paladins, supply trucks. Oh, yeah, helicopters. Yeah. Real easy to sneak helicopters around a desert. This isn't a bunch of Native Americans dragging teepees around and, brushing a branch behind their footprints. Like it's a modern army invading a large city, probably the largest city in the region other than like Baghdad, I'll tell you what, Democrats got to get it together and stop treating Republicans with any sort of due respect. They have proven themselves, okay? Anybody who is not standing up against Donald Trump right now has proven themselves not to be a Republican, but simply to be an anarchist and a traitor. They should not be allowed to govern. They don't believe in government. We really need to have a, a non-governmental law enforcement body that can arrest government officials. Seriously. We should have a completely different election system just for a watchdog agency. Because we cannot rely on Congress to impeach a tyrant. And according to the Constitution, right now, we as citizens are obligated to revolt openly. We are obligated, not just the right, it is our obligation, it is our responsibility as citizens. And I'm not saying that we do this, because that would get really fucking ugly really quick. But we should. You know, we're all too chicken shit for all the right reasons. But we should. We should just, march on Washington and get every fucking one of those people the fuck out.
Right. Like, actually drain the swamp.
But you can't do that in a modern time, especially with Putin at the gates. And he knows that. He's based his strategy on it. But you know what? This nation exists and prospers because God wills it so. How patient do you expect God to be with you? Let me put it this way. How patient would you be if you were God? How much patience could you possibly lend to a situation in which those who say they represent you are the least concerned about your will? As a parent, imagine if, as a parent, all you saw were your children fighting each other, just refusing to get along. How long would you tolerate that? How long would it be before you broke up the fight and said, if anybody's going to be doing some ass whooping around here, it's going to be me? What do you think America deserves?
At this point,
People are judged based on their potential. Judge America based on its potential. We have the potential to unite and bring peace to the entire world. This nation alone has that potential. The only other path would be totalitarianism. And without us, US, that would already be the case. This world would already be totalitarian. And you would not be watching this video right now, because such contrivances as free speech would not be bothered with. you'd be in the fields working. And I would have been put to death for being crippled, euthanized by eugenicists like Donald Trump. Yep, they believe in eugenics. If you don't look just like them, they don't even think you should breathe. That's what neo-Nazis are. Psychos. Like, I mean, Democrats need to wake the fuck up. You're talking about guys who, you know, in Houston in the early 90s, these guys would drive around town and shoot a cat if it was all black. And that still happens to this day, I guarantee it. Racism is real. Nazis are real. Republican corruption, elitism, fascism. It's a very real thing. And Republicans, if they hope to maintain a political party in this country without destroying it, need to repent of this. Repent, for the end is nigh.
Don't believe us? Turn the news on.
And it's not a matter of, oh, look, there's a bunch of bad things happening in the world. No, it's a matter of a specific, momentous direction that all of these bad things are leading towards. And that is the destruction of free will.
It's what communism does.
Okay, now I understand what free will is. Free will is the ability to make an informed decision during an election, for instance. Free will is the ability to decide what to do with your life instead of being forced to take a job.
Based on your family status.
Be forced to go do something less than what you are capable of. Because why? Because somebody who wasn't quite as talented as you is the owner's nephew, or their friend, or their cousin, or something like that.
Boyfriend.
Monkey's uncle, former dog's ex-roommate's best friend's sister.
Woohoo!
Yeah. From France. But, you know, even though we had, you know, this cognitive fucking disconnect that the Republicans constantly do, it's so demonic and revolting. It just gets under my fucking skin. This disconnect of, oh wait, Mexicans are taking all of our jobs. We're losing our jobs to robotics. Our jobs are getting sent overseas. There's illegal immigration taking our jobs. All this shit. But when it comes to why poor people are poor, it's because they need to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Oh, and it's all the Democrats' fault for wanting to take money from rich corporations who have robots that have replaced jobs, that have sent jobs overseas. We want to take the money that they're making immorally and give it to the children of the people who built America. Because it's, you know, it's not as though this nation was built entirely by slaves or entirely by white people. Guess what? We all fucking built this nation. White people, Italian people, Irish people, Jewish people, Arab people, Chinese people. Latinos are still building this country. Shit. Have you driven on the fucking highways in Texas? Latinos do some nice work. Mexicans, fuck. Well, no, not so much Mexicans. If you want to get specific about the nationalities among the Latinos, okay, I've worked with a lot of different Latino people, and most other Latinos talk shit about Mexicans for being lazy. Did you know that? Did you know that?
It's a white thing?
No. But, like, there are a lot of really hard-working Mexicans. Like, Mexicans still work harder than white people.
Even lazy ones.
Right. Well, not the, like, specifically lazy Mexicans. A fucking lazy person is a lazy person. But, like, the idea that they have a reputation for being lazy among white people is hilarious. Like, it's please. Fucking Republicans equate wealth to hard work. When the fact of the matter is, they're all just a bunch of privileged, fucking spoiled douchebags who were born with silver spoons in their mouths. And they can't comprehend your problems. They can't comprehend the white working class's problems. That's why everything they say is a mockery of it. That's why they present these things that have logical disconnects as fact. And they present these things in emotional ways that get the crowd all rallied up to their own demise. Oh, we're going to help poor people by giving more money to rich people. Doesn't sound fucking stupid at all. And now he said, oh, Drain the Swamp was cute, but we're not going to be saying that anymore. Lock her up. Oh, that was, that played well during the election. But, yeah.
Who cares now?
This is Bush 3.0. How much worse can we fucking make it?
I don't know. I'm starting to miss Bush.
Right? No, like seriously, everything bad about Bush. Check all that off. Okay? And see how much worse each individual thing could possibly get. And then you have Trump. If you could just make a list based upon knowledge of people like Hitler and Stalin, Genghis Khan, and Karl Marx, if you could take what America is, what our Constitution says, our geostrategic position in the world, and invent the perfect Manchurian, slave state of the Mongolian horde, Manchurian candidate, the perfect ticking time bomb to destroy our country by destroying the limits of power in government, by destroying our unity as a nation, by destroying what was left of anything that could be seen as non-hypocritical about Christianity. Christianity, as you know it, is over because Republicans elected Donald Trump. Understand that, people. America, democracy. The idea that we are a real democracy, not a banana republic, that's gone. It's over. We can't get it back because of Republicans, because of their lies. Because in Russia, when you receive, what was the White Cross or whatever? When you receive the Russian Medal of Honor from the Russian Federation, you are told you have been a good Republican. Okay? I saw the fucking ceremony, little translated thing for myself. I'm like, what? Republican? And man, think about it for a second. It makes so much sense. They're white people that pretend to be racist and get support from other white people by propagating propagandizing them into being racist. And all the while, who do they work for? The Republicans work for the fucking Saudis. And the Russian work for the Khanate. The Bush family and its associates, watch Fahrenheit 9/11. They took $868 billion from the Saudis. And we're worried about a couple of particular Saudis who gave a few $100,000 to the Clinton Foundation. When, if you actually do some research, what you find is that the Clinton Foundation was covertly supporting secularists in Saudi Arabia. Because what happens in Saudi Arabia is, if you get AIDS, you're not allowed to admit it, because they'll just kill your ass for being gay. But you got a problem with that, don't you? Because the Republicans fucking told you to. You got a problem with her fucking what? The Clinton Foundation? God, I hope more world leaders donate to it. When America does good things, people like us. When you do good things, when you're nice to people, if people see you do it, they think, oh, that's a good person. And if they ever see you in need, chances are they're going to help you. But see, Republicans don't seem to understand that. They don't seem to understand that our economy is in the shitter because of them.
Because it's somebody else's fault.
Well, okay. America is a business, right? We are a nation that produces products, and we would like to sell those products to other nations so that we can take their money, and we can be a rich, prosperous nation, and in turn protect those nations from the people who just want to take shit from them without giving anything in return. If you go and piss everybody off, is anybody going to want to do business with you? If you say, have a place like Africa being ravaged by AIDS, if you do nothing and just let those fucking people die and just, protect yourselves. Oh, we've got a cure for AIDS now, so we're just going to keep it over here and we're going to make sure our people don't die. And we're going to let those people that survive hear about that. And then, one day, Ford Motor Company builds a car for $1,200 that they can sell in Africa. It's not going to happen. Why? Because there was no Clinton Foundation. Because we just let those fucking people die. And the ones that survive hate us. So they're not going to buy our little cheap cars that we built just for them. Now imagine if the KGB traitor and the little, Russian slut, Linda Tripp and Monica Lewinsky, didn't go through so much trouble to discredit the only American president who had, kind of found a path towards prosperity for America. Imagine how much better the Clinton Foundation would have done in Africa once Bill Clinton left office, had it not been for the fake scandals. I bet you we'd probably be selling $1,200 Fords in Mexico by now.
Probably so.
In fact, we'd probably be selling them for about $5,000 each, making a nice little profit. Africa probably would be a nice little place by now. We might have even been able to do things about, like Rwanda and Sudan and shit like that. But we're too busy listening to Republicans' bullshit to be America. You're fucking kidding me. We literally can't get anything done in this country because Republicans are not interested in facts. We can't even have a debate on the actual issues because we have to spend time. Why? Why do we have to spend time telling people that 2 plus 2 is 4? Why do we have to spend time debunking bullshit? Donald Trump, Mike Flynn, Steve Bannon belong in jail. Last I checked, you got executed for treason. But, maybe I'm not in the country I thought I was. But at the very least, treason. You should go to jail for it. You don't fucking get to go on RT during a time of war. You don't get to go on RT and talk shit about America. You're a fucking traitor. RT now runs our government because of Republicans. The Christian church is a fucking embarrassment because of Republicans. It's just fucking amazing to me that people could read the words in red in the Bible and then go watch Fox News. How does the human brain decay that much while still performing basic bodily functions like breathing and heartbeat? Like, how do you fucking get that
fluoride in the
defective?
Water.
Right?
Fluoride in the water, and what are those things? The line things in the
sky?
sky?
Yeah, vapor trails. Must be the chemtrails.
Must be the chemtrails.
Yes. It couldn't just be like, greed, selfishness. Just a bunch of fucking spoiled brats. That's what they are. Okay? You ever met a spoiled brat? And you think, that little shit should be running our government? Vote Republican. If you're not a fucking moron, vote Democrat. And that's all I gotta say about that. I'm tired of this bullshit. And I think it's only a matter of time before these drain the swamp people wake the fuck up. But you know what? Doesn't matter. The damage is done. America is over. And the only thing those people could do, the only thing Trump supporters can do, is march on Washington and fix their mistake. And I believe it was the Second Amendment people that he said take care of those kind of things. Yeah. I wonder if they have any balls or integrity to stand up for America, where they're all just kind of bend over and take it up the ass from another Muscovite minaret.